Good morning. I greet you with my Saturn talisman that we made at Monday night magic class a few years back. There's the back side of it. But I was looking at the message that I wrote on the edges, which is always good advice. Embrace simplicity, have few desires, reduce selfishness. Happy July 1st. Now, all my life I've celebrated the entire month of July as my birthday month. I call it Lontober. But I don't want to make a big thing about it, and I certainly don't want to give out the exact date of my birthday because it embarrasses me when people make a big thing about July the 11th. Now, I keep July 11th, the date, secret because you know how the older you get, the less you enjoy growing another year older. So this July 11th, my secret birthday day, I'm hoping to spend a quiet, sequestered day at home, enjoying maybe some watermelon and guacamole. But whatever. Please don't make a big thing about July 11th. July 11th, my birthday. Don't make a big thing about it because it embarrasses me. We're moving into, it's not July 11th, my birthday yet, though. It's only July 1st. That's 10 days before July 11th, my birthday. Today, we're going to open up this section of Allow Me to Introduce on Enochian magic. And we've already had an introduction I wrote for John Dee's True and Faithful Relation. But we're going to, or I'm going to introduce Donald Laycock's Complete Enochian Dictionary and a wonderful book by my friend Dr. John DeSalvo, The Lost Art of Enochian Magic. But today, we're going to open up with my introduction to the Complete Enochian Dictionary. Of course, the chapter section has a little epigram of its own, which is a prayer by John Dee. Teach me, O Creator of all things, to have correct knowledge and understanding, for your wisdom is all that I desire. Speak your word in my ear, O Creator of all things, and set your wisdom in my heart. And this is the foreword to the Complete Enochian Dictionary, the 2001 edition, by Donald C. Laycock, Wiser Books, 2001. The epigram is from Swinburne's Atalanta and Caledon. His life is a watch or a vision between asleep and asleep. An eternal debate rages between those who believe in the objective existence of spiritual entities and those who believe that all such phenomena, no matter how apparently substantial, are entirely subjective experiences. Perhaps both schools of thought are correct. Where angels, demons, and spirits are concerned, I personally believe it's all in your head. You just have no idea how big your head is. Or, to quote my pseudo-epigraphic guru, Rabbi Lamed Ben Clifford, yes, the spirits are real. Yes, the spirits are imaginary. Most of us, however, cannot imagine how real our imaginations are. I can, with no small measure of confidence, generally defend this position with jabs of well-worn Kabbalistic suppositions concerning the nature of consciousness and the functions of the various parts of the soul, and a left hook of Carl Jung. There have been times, however, when my field theory has been mightily challenged. Mr. Laycock's complete Enochian dictionary played a curious role in one such magical bout. In 1978, as part of my perceived duties as an OTO Lodge Master, I began what would become a 23-year weekly magic class at my home in Costa Mesa, California. So this is now, I think, a 42-year magic class, which we just paused this last February. I can't wait to open up again. At the time, I was hard-pressed to stay one jump ahead of the enthusiastic aspirants who crowded my living room floor each Thursday evening. And within a year or so, I realized that if I intended to continue teaching, I was eventually going to have to learn more myself. My magic library was pitifully small in those days. My newest treasure was a first edition of Gems from the Equinox that contained a selection of books, articles, and essays and rituals from Aleister Crowley's monumental work, The Equinox. I combed through it to see if I could find something novel and exotic to occupy our Thursday nights for a while, and settled on Liber Chanokh, a brief abstract of the symbolic representation of the universe derived by Dr. John Dee through the scrying of Sir Edward Kelly. That's the title. It's Crowley's introduction to the complex and beautiful magical art form that has come to be known as Enochian. I didn't know it at the time, but Chanokh and the book you are now holding in your hands would dramatically change the course of my life. At first, I found Chanokh completely unfathomable. I read it, reread it, and checked it against the Enochian material in Regarde's Golden Dawn. After a day or two of whimpering, things finally started to make a little sense. The material that treated upon the evocation of the angels of the 4 elemental tablets appeared to be the logical place to start the class. Excuse me. And here I've got, now I've got a 3-dimensional deck, a beautiful, or set, a beautiful wooden truncated thing. But this, I mounted on poster board. There's 4 separate elemental tablets, and I just used the blank elemental tablets and glued them to the poster board and colored them in with colored pens myself. Something you can do, but also a deck of tarot cards can give you the same general structure. The 4 elemental tablets are the aces. The 4 subquadrants of each tablet are the court cards, and the 36 small cards are found in the 36 squares of the cross that divides each of the tablets. And if your tarot deck doesn't have the Enochian material on them, allow me to suggest the tarot. I'm bad today, but it's my birthday month, which is a secret, of course, July the 11th. Each elemental tablet is made up of 156 lettered squares, each of which is divided to represent a truncated pyramid. Each has its own particular mixture of elements determined by a most impressive application of Hermetic logic. An angel whose name is the letter of the square lives in each one of the pyramids. These single letter named angels are modular and join with their neighbors to form bigger angels and longer names and more complex attributes and duties. It's truly an elegant system. My plan was to keep the class occupied for a few weeks, drawing and coloring their own tables, while I consulted with Dr. Rigarde and constructed a set of three-dimensional tablets. Rigarde was not keen on the idea. He told me that to his knowledge no one had ever done such a thing before, and that the Enochian angels were dangerous enough when they inhabited flat tablets. He cautioned, "Don't give them dimensional elbow room." I joked and suggested that his angels were probably in a bad mood because they were all squished up inside his flat tablets. I went ahead and prevailed upon a lodge brother to cut 624 wooden truncated pyramids. These I would eventually prepare, paint, and assemble into the 4 elemental tablets, one each for fire, water, air, and earth. The night of our first evocation arrived. I prepared our living room temple for the evocation of Ladrum, the Mars Senior of the Tablet of Earth. And I know it's too small for you to see here, but this is the Tablet of Earth, this one in this corner right here. And Ladrum, the Mars Senior, is this angel right here, Laidrom. Okay. The temple opening and operating procedures are outlined admirably in Chanok, so there was very little to do but follow directions. I smugly congratulated myself on being so well prepared. What I wasn't prepared for, however, was the possibility that the evocation might actually work. The first student to arrive was D.R., who proudly handed me his newly acquired first edition of Laycock's Complete Enochian Dictionary, the first one I had ever seen. As always, when somebody hands me something rare or expensive, I feign profound gratitude and gushed, "Oh, thank you." He quickly snatched it back out of my hands. Once the rest of the class arrived, I asked for a volunteer to read the call in the angelic language and sit in the visionary driver's seat. To my great anxiety, our only volunteer was David Wilson, the most cynical member of the class. And I don't think I'm giving away a secret here because David has passed away. But David Wilson, in the years to follow, went on to be S. Jason Black, an occult magical writer in his own right. But on this night, he was a fledgling volunteer. David was the most cynical member of the class, and I was certain that our class curmudgeon would receive no visions whatsoever, and all our efforts would be the target of his ridicule for many months to come. Still, he was willing to give it a try, so I switched on our little tape recorder, and we proceeded. After I banished and opened the temple, David read the call twice, closed his eyes, and sat quietly for only a few seconds. Then, to all of our surprise, he casually started to describe in great detail his vision of a desert of white crystalline sand that sprouted columns of volcanic rock. We were all thrilled. I asked if he saw any living thing, an angel or a spirit. He said no. I encouraged him to repeat the call a third time. As soon as he finished, he excitedly described an enormous black cone arising from beneath the sand. David fell silent for a moment. He told us the cone was opening. Then, with a shout that startled us all, he said, "It's him! It's him! I see him!" He described a large humanoid figure seemingly constructed from the same material as the cone. It had no face. Its head was egg-shaped and flat in front. Its fingerless hands had the appearance of mittens. "This is Ladrum," David announced reverently. We were all in shock. None of us were prepared for this. David reached for a pad of paper and a pencil and scribbled down a few notes and a sketch. Before I could stutter out words of welcome, David let out a nervous giggle and said, "Lon, I feel I could make strange sounds." Go with it. I don't think I really meant it. Ntahalola athaizoregeef. Then he started to go, This is. I said, "No, relax, let it happen." I tried to sound calm. "I mean it. I feel like an idiot. I'm to silsi alaxaladorabnanta." And then something inaudible. F-F-Tharzi. "I'm sorry, that's all. Nothing like this has ever happened before. I just felt like doing it," David said. I didn't know what to say. I finally salvaged the presence of mind to thank Ladrum for appearing. I was painfully embarrassed that I couldn't think of anything to say to this perfectly well-mannered angel standing in my living room. Finally, I stuttered something stupid to the effect that we really appreciated him stopping by, and we'd sure like him to visit again sometime soon. And then I hurriedly closed and banished the temple. For a few seconds, no one said a word. Then everyone started talking at once. I rewound the tape, and we listened to the strange words that had tumbled out of David's mouth. Of course, they didn't make any sense, but it was such a thrill just to hear them. We rewound the tape repeatedly and eventually transcribed 3 audible strings of syllables. Nand tahola ho athezoregeef. Zil zianzli lo dar arp nan ta. Then something inaudible. Tharzi. We referred to DR's complete Enochian dictionary, and in short order discovered Nanta Elohoath Zorgiev, and it translated Spirit of Earth, First Worshipper, Friendly Visit. Zilzien, Stretch Forth Hands. Zilodarpnanta, Stretch forth and conquer, Spirit of Earth. Tharzi, Visit in peace. Now we got to remember, when all this mention is Spirit of Earth, that we were working with the Earth Elemental Tablet. and that Ladrum was the Mars senior of Earth. David appeared uncharacteristically shaken by what had happened. He insisted, and I didn't doubt his truthfulness, that he had not so much even read any of the Enochian calls before that evening. For the next 3 years, we would hold class 2 nights a week and focus exclusively on Enochian magic. We would depend increasingly on the complete Enochian dictionary to help us navigate the complexities of the angelic hierarchies and serve as our pronunciation guide to the angelic language. David's visions would continue to take us on amazing excursions into the elemental worlds. But as soon as he became more accustomed to hearing the words of the calls, his talent for breaking spontaneously into the angelic tongue diminished and finally ceased altogether. He remains the most talented scryer I had ever encountered. DR, bless his heart, eventually moved away. We haven't heard from him in many years. I'm forever grateful to him for bringing the complete Enochian dictionary to class that memorable night so many years ago. And as you probably have guessed, I never returned it to him. And that's the end of that. Tomorrow we'll do another preface I wrote to an Enochian book. I hope you've enjoyed today, and we'll continue to remember to forget that July 11th is my birthday. Please put it out of your mind. That's 7/11, which is 7/11. 1948, Lon's birthday, but please don't make a big thing out of it. Happy Lontober, everybody. Continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. Bye.